The guys just arrived with the one truck and trailer, and I hear the other one pulling up. The yard here is super manicured. Beautiful mounding grass and streams of water. So we're not gonna be able to access in through this area. Original plan was to go through that gate, but with all the recent rains, it's super soft and mushy, and we don't wanna make a mess. We try to leave as light of a footprint as possible when we do a project. So we brought the mini machines with us, and we're gonna be accessing a gateway over on the other side of this barn. Wow, the team is fast. The guys already have the clean out pump in the pond, and they're draining water out into the yard. They are also setting up some plywood over here. This is our main entrance. I was telling you, it's a skinny entranceway. Coming right through this gate, we have the mini machines, we have the MT100, we have the KX18 Kubota, and everything's gotta come right through there. All those boulders you saw dumped, they gotta come through there. We're gonna be using bagged gravel on this project, trying to keep everything as neat as possible. My team, we got Baldo, Felipe, Alicio, and the main man over there, Mr. Raphael.
1, 2, 3.
So when we're doing a redo, there's a lot of things that we have to take into consideration. This pond here has no fish, so that was not one of them, but we gotta know what to do with the material as we're moving it out of the pond. We finally got all the water drained out of the pond, and we're ready to start removing rock. We have different kinds. We have cobbles, we have flat rock, we have big ones, we have small ones, and we want to kind of keep that all organized. So if we need to use any of it later, we know what we have left as we're using it up. Also, we had to discuss with the homeowner. Thank gosh, they have a place here to store it, and the homeowner, Mark, loves to keep all the extra material. He uses it in his landscapes as the years go on, and it's great to recycle that type of material. So those are a couple of considerations when we come in to take out a pond and put a new one in that you got to think about. Another thing you got to consider when redoing a pond is how do we access it? This here is in a very mature garden, so a lot of plants had to be removed. And that's whether you have garden stake koi do that, which we normally don't, or your gardener or landscaper. And in this case, that's what happened. So right now we're taking all the smaller cobble rock out of the pond. We saved some of it behind that pallets over there. We saved some of it over there, but the rest of this cobble is going to go in the far distance to where the homeowner stores all his raw material. If we need any more of it, we can always bring it back over here. But for now, I think we have enough, and we're going to move it along its way. After we get done with that, we'll start removing this gravel, and that'll also go in the distance over there. And we're gonna be bringing fresh gravel in. We got it in bags in the back of the truck. That'll make this project easier instead of us having to worry about bucketing it and finding places to dump on this manicured property. So this is the old Aquascape skimmer, a classic skimmer, and you can see over the years they changed designs because of the collapsing on the sides and stuff like that. Now they have the new rounder models, which we'll be putting in, called the Signature Series, as well as that biofoil up there. That is a Grande biofoil. It's comparable to the new Signature 6000, and we'll also be adding in that 2500 Signature Series. So day one was a success here. We got all the rock out of the pond, pretty much, the gravel, and we left the liner in the hole for tomorrow morning. The reason for that was just in case we got any rain. There's none in the forecast, but you never know. The weather could be unpredictable, and we didn't want any kind of wet and muddy soil down below. So this morning, we're just gonna be pulling out the liner, and then we're ready to start shaping the pond. But before that, we have to remove some stepping stones so we can get fully around the pond and also to have a space to run our water. So we're back at it this morning. This is day 2 here down in Mendham, New Jersey. Like I said last night, the pond is all ripped apart. We have a couple stones here. The guys just got rid of these stepping stones and the plants in between. We have to remove this bridge, but one thing that's super important is that we shoot the bottom of that bridge, find out the level of it, and give ourselves a benchmark to work off of. Over there, Baldo's setting up the transit. He's gonna get ready to go. So once the laser's spinning and ready to go, we're gonna do a couple of measurements, find out exactly where that bridge needs to go back into place. The way we're gonna do that is we're gonna actually shoot the bottom of this bridge here. That way I know how high to build the pillar to make this bridge float. The benchmark for that stone there will be taken off the top of that step. And what I'm gonna do is find out how high that step is to the bottom of this stone. Do a little bit of math, have a number, and later on when I go to place this back on top of that pedestal, I will have the perfect height. Not only did we shoot the bottom of the bridge for height, we were also shooting the top. So the edge of the pond is now gonna be level going around. It might be a little lower in this area because the bridge will be sitting about 6 inches above water level due to the fact that we need a 2-inch gap going under the bridge for debris to flow back into the new intake bank. So the other guys went over there to cut some fabric and get ready for the liner going in. Myself and Baldo are over here by the pond. Everything is taken out now. We got the outside marking shaped, and we went and looked at it from the upper patio area. Made sure everything was great with the homeowners. They love it. They wanted to actually shift the design over a little bit this way to make it a little bit more symmetrical to the trees behind me. So we moved it in a foot this way and put it out a foot that way. But that is the most important part before we start digging the hole. So we're at lunchtime on day 2 here. Shaping on the new pond has started. You can see the mini excavator sitting down in where the pond will be. And we're able to knock down all the extra soil from enlarging the area down into the middle and compacting it with the excavator as we go. We are roughly down a foot of water in all areas right now. So that is 16 inches from upper grade. The reason it is 16 inches is because we have a 4-inch area for fluctuation of water above the overflow. That way, all the water is contained in the pond and directed out through a pipe, and they do not have wet areas around the pond like they used to. We're in middle of day 2 here, and shaping the pond's a little slower when you're using the mini excavator. Smaller buckets, tighter spaces takes a little more time, but we're moving along nicely. We're right at the point right now where we're taking the aqua blocks and seeing how big of an area we need to start digging for the skim cove. I'm already 18 inches down from water level, so about 22 inches from the edge, and I gotta go another 9 inches down. When I go another 9 inches down, where these aqua blocks are, they will sit down flush to the grade, and that will be the main intake system and skimmer for this pond. So I would say day 2 was a great success. Digging has gone pretty well. We hit some old rubble from building on the house here or some kind of construction in that area. But besides that, it's been pretty smooth sailing. A mixture of clay, sand, topsoil. We got a lot of extra soil left over there for day 3. We're gonna have to truck that over to the other side of the property in our dump trucks. That'll be a little bit of work, but we're almost ready for liner. One of my favorite parts of this project is definitely going to be the fact that when you come to the edge of the patio right here, we move the pond far enough in that it will look like this is sitting on water, which is going to be really neat because you cannot see the earth down below. I love when you have different kind of illusions on projects like this, and that is going to be one of my favorite parts. It's not even complete yet, and I can already tell. So we're back at it. Day 3 here down in Mendham, New Jersey, and we're going to continue on shaping the pond. I was just showing Felipe where he's going to be dumping the soil from the dump truck. So I'm going to hop in the excavator and start digging out the rest of the pond. I also got to dig another cave area down below. The guys right now, we're just doing a little shovel work, and we're about to get started. Sometimes it's important to do some maintenance on your machine. A little bit of greasing takes a couple minutes, but keeps them from squeaking and lasting longer. So we're at the point here that we're ready to put the fabric, liner, and then another layer of fabric in the hole. The guys are just finishing cleaning a little bit of stuff up over there, but the pond is almost shaped. The only area that we'll have to work on is the elevation here for that floating bridge and stepping stones. That'll be a lot of work on elevations to figure out what needs to be done exactly to get that bridge sitting 2 inches above the water when the pond is totally full. In the distance over there where the excavator is kind of where the waterfall is going to be, where the excavator arm. There's going to be 2 biofalls, and we're going to be keeping them super low so they look like springs coming out of the ground and more of a stream into the pond than a big waterfall. And the reason for that is the homeowners would not like a big waterfall back there because the elevation actually drops off grade and it will look fake. Right down below me, right there where you see those white lines, we're going to have a waterfall look like it's pouring out of there where we actually have some elevation, and that will be the secret waterfall. It'll be a very low flow, probably around 1,000 gallons an hour, but it'll be a really cool little secret waterfall as you walk down the staircase. So we got to that time of the job where the liner's ready to go in the hole. On this project, we're using a 25 by 50 liner. The pond's roughly 3 foot deep. We'd like to have a little extra just so we have some artistic freedom. We don't like to squeeze ourselves to the size liner in the hole. So now that the liner and fabric is in the hole, we are ready to start rocking the pond. We will not be working over in that area yet because that's where that intake bay is going to be going, as well as that floating bridge right here. When we return after the weekend, hopefully by Monday sometime, we are working on this area and getting that bridge set. But right now, we're going to work on the bottom area of the pond, as well as the cave, which is going to be right in front of me. With that tube that Felipe has, we're going to set it down here and cut it to the right length, and then start rocking in around the cave and the bottom of the pond.